So welcome back to another episode. And are there too many video games now? Is the marketplace saturated? Is it kind of ruining the hobby because there's so many video games? More than there's ever been. It's an interesting subject, and I've been thinking about it for a while now. What do you guys think? Is there too many games on the market? Well, you know, it's funny, when I grew up in the 80s and 90s, there was a lot of video games. There really was. Look at the Master System, the Genesis, the Super Nintendo, N64. Look at the entire lineup. So there's always been a lot of video games, but I think it was easier to kind of get through a lot of the, the shovelware back in the day and get to some of the gems, and there wasn't that many gems all of the time, where, isn't this something, this is nothing to complain about. We are living in a time when there's more video games than ever before, and better video games than there's ever been in all of history. Why? Because companies want to make money. They finally realize that, wow, this is a huge industry. Let's pump out the games, and they're pumping them out, and they're of high quality. There's so many good games that come out every month, like, on handhelds, on the PC and Steam, the indie scene. It's just incredible. Never mind AAA titles on consoles and also on PCs. It's just ridiculous. I've never in my life seen so many games, and now I think you just have to be more picky about what you're into. Back in the day, I'd be like, oh my god, an RPG, I must have it. Where now it's like, well, there's 20 RPGs. What am I really into? What kind of mood am I in? And you can really make your decision based on that, and you have to. You have to be that kind of gamer now. You can't just accept everything. Because if you did that, then you couldn't afford it, first of all, but it would just be an incredible, daunting task. What a weird time to live in. So many great games, not enough time. But has it ruined the market? It's just created so much that I have a hard time keeping up with a lot of games now. And I always used to know, I remember I had release dates memorized for nearly even games I didn't like. I'm like, well, that game's coming out then, and this game's coming out now. I can't even keep track of it all. It's so crazy. But that's kind of like the 80s and 90s in general. I'll use science fiction movies as an example. And also kind of the industry. I could always tell you in the 80s and 90s every single science fiction movie that had ever been made. I could probably do that. I could tell you and talk to you about all those movies. Could I do that now? Not to the same, no. Because there's so much. And what's happening is, not only are we getting great games now, we're getting so many great games on our backlogs. There's games from 10 years ago that are incredible that we still haven't played. Same for movies. They just keep on making more and more and more movies. And the quality keeps sometimes getting better. And same for games. And it just has glutted the entire market in a good, bad, or ugly way. That's to be decided. That's, who benefits? Well, we all do. We all get great gaming experiences. But now, as I say, you just have to be a little bit more picky and not just go, oh my god, it's an RPG, I'll take it. Now you just have to kind of wade through it all, and it's quite the job to wade through it all to find a gaming experience you're gonna like. But also another fact of there being so many games coming out that I think Pete Dorr mentioned this, and it's a really brilliant thing, that you buy a game for $60, a month later it's $20, $20, $30. So where's the incentive to buy a new game? It has to be something you really, really like. And well, it's just an amazing time we live in. I never, in the 80s and 90s, thought I'd ever have that kind of problem. Oh my god, too many RPGs? Kill me now. I never thought that was ever going to happen like it is now, but it's become, it always was an industry, but now it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, like in the 80s it was, but it was more of a niche hobby for nerdy gamers. They were the gamers, the nerdy types of people. And then with the NES, it got a little bit more mainstream and so on through the years. But yeah, it's a hell of a time to live in. I think it's a great time. It's the best time I've ever seen for video games. It's wonderful. I'm not complaining about it, but I'm just wondering, are there too many games? Are there just too many games out there? I just feel that I can't give as much love to as many games as I would like. Almost like women, it's crazy. But you know what I mean? I'm just being funny about that. But there's, back in the 90s, it was like Chrono Trigger, you know, I could spend months just appreciating and loving that game, where now it's like, boom, that's out, now another game's out, you have a hard time keeping up. And I think maybe something we could take away from this, maybe we all need to slow down a little bit, and our consumption rate with games. I'm the first to admit that with myself, but I always want to play the coolest, newest games, and there's so many good ones. I have to hold back. I have to hold back, and I continually do. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Is there too many video games out there? Is this the best time to play video games? It certainly is to me. So please leave a comment down below. So anyways, guys, until next time.